That's awesome.
Legacy cemented. The 2021 Badgers will go down in history as the first ever at Wisconsin to win a national championship.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Alongside Jon Arias, here's Pablo Iglesias.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Scramble live on 100.5 ESPN, also on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the brand new customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Pablo Iglesias, live at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. We've got a lot to talk about today. Jordan Love. Is he going to take that next step into year 3 as the starter? Is Giannis trolling? Is he having some fun? We know he's a fun guy. But does this mean it's the end in Milwaukee? We don't know yet. Once again, though, and also, too, it's Father's Day weekend. It's Father's Day weekend. What are the dads up to? What's everybody doing? Riley Yauk is behind the glass. And finally, the big thing today, we've got our great special guest joining the Saturday Scramble, a great playing partner over here, too, the voice of Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. Awesome teammate. Also, congratulations to an award winner recently, too, for the best play-by-play call. He is Mr. Jon Arias. Jon, welcome to the Saturday Scramble. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. What's up, Pablo? What's up, Riley? This is fun, man. I like this.
Yeah, we bring the energy out here. The sun's starting to shine a little bit. Saturday vibes, that's what we're all about here. Isn't that right, Riley?
Darn right.
There it is.
Great day to be alive.
I could not find my ESPN Madison t-shirt that I have, so I used my old school lacrosse ESPN. Just representing the brand a little bit.
I love that. So what was it? Back was a couple months ago at the NFL draft at the Tundra Trio, a lot of our teammates from across the country, Rob Lorenzo, who's a digital content specialist as well, more in New York, does a lot of Unsportsmanlike, which you can hear too on ESPN Madison from 6 to 9. On 100.5. Rob Lorenzo, though, the digital content specialist, the social media mind, he was wearing like the old school ESPN, like block letters sweatshirt. That was sweet. We got to find an ESPN Zone one too, maybe. We'll see. That would be sweet. Riley, I know you're a huge, you're a pretty huge, thrifter as well, aren't you?
Oh, yes. I love a good vintage find, good Goodwill, Salvation Army. Like, my mom put me onto rummage sales early as a child, and I have never looked back.
I think it's one of the best ways to find, really fun, cheap, awesome t-shirts, sweatshirts. Like, go to Goodwill, you're going to find at least one thing. There's always, jerseys there.
Yeah.
That's
where I need to go for more Badger stuff, I feel like.
100%.
I've spent way too much money. No, I mean, hey, support businesses across the board, don't get me wrong, but also, you got to save some dough, too. We ain't made of money out here.
In Madison, there's, dedicated sections of Badger apparel at these places. So, yeah, you got to check that out.
I love it. I mean, you got to thrift. I mean, that also feels like total, in the best way, dad energy. You got to save some bucks, whether it's, looking at the thermostat. That kind of feels like a dad move, too. You got to save some money. Hey, listen, no more. Let me ask you this, and we'll get into this, too. 844-770-3776. The Carpless Talk and Text line list is more. It is Father's Day weekend. We want to get to know a little bit of your dad-isms. Jon, I want to ask you, what do you feel like? Do you feel like that you do some dad things, mannerisms? Do you have phrases? Do you have dad jokes? What is your dad persona?
It's a great question. I've never had dad jokes, but I always wish I had dad jokes. I don't think I'm quick enough to come up with the dad jokes, or I have enough built up in my repertoire to unload a good dad joke. I don't know describe dadism a little bit deeper for me.
Dadism, I just feel like, again, it is very broad. It's like the mannerisms, how this all goes. Again, the dad joke specifically. I threw it into the Chat GPT world too as well to break down some what are some commonly top dad things. And I also thought about it too, with my dad and what he does. Every dad's typically got a corny joke once in a while, whether it's quick witty or if it's just a nice two one-liner, hi, I'm hungry. Hi, I'm dad.
See, and that's
a
good.
Good one.
That's good stuff.
One. Falling asleep mid-movie. I will tell you this. My dad is guilty of this. There have only been 2 movies that we've seen in the theaters together that he has stayed awake for. It was Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen movie documenting Freddie Mercury, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes with James Franco.
Quite the mix.
Yes. I don't know why those two movies are the ones.
That's hilarious. So he falls asleep during movies.
He falls asleep during movies.
That's my wife, by the way.
Yes.
Like, we can't even watch a movie. I'm like, ready? Nope. Okay, I guess we're not watching a movie tonight.
So your wife has more dad energy.
I guess. How about this? I love a good afternoon nap on the weekend.
See, that
or
hits.
Weekday or whenever I can.
Do you turn golf on while you're napping?
Oh, that's one of the best naps is when there's a golf tournament on. You're right, Riley.
It is so elite. U.S. Open weekend, too. That's another thing we'll probably get into a little bit at the 11 o'clock hour. Also, Jason Wilde is going to be joining us at 10:30. He had some interesting comments as well. One of our other favorite dads, too. It's Dad Central here on the Saturday Scramble. So continuing more of the list, are you a griller? Do you find
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like grilling or smoking meats. That is like the next level thing. So I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago too, and I'm not close to fatherhood anywhere, at least that I know of. But anyway, but yes. So there we go. Yeah, listen, like I think like once you hit that like new decade, it just perspectives change and like you get different hobbies. I'm a big golfer. I know a lot of guys too that have gotten into more cooking, grilling, smoking, like that's a big hobby. John, like again, where are you at with that?
So grilling, if there's I take over the grill. That's for sure. I like to do it as much as I can in the summertime. Usually like on a weekend is the best time to do it.
Apron and everything too?
No,
please
apron,
tell me
charcoal though. I did the charcoal.
Okay.
So like,
yeah.
So the good thing about that is it takes a while to warm up. So that's a great time to crack something open and kind of wait. So you get to be outside, you get to crack something, and if a kid comes over and says, "Hey, I'm like, hey, I'm busy right now. I gotta drink this beer and watch these coals get warm and hot." Mm-hmm. So definitely that grilling is for sure. Golf, yes. In fact, I do this thing that annoys everybody in my family is where I try to go through like certain points of my swing. So I'll be at target and I'll be like doing like the release drill or whatever, and so that's. I don't know if many dads do that or if that's just a golfer's thing or what that is, but I do that too.
I love doing that, but for baseball.
Yeah.
I could just be anywhere and just, you got to get in your stance. You just got to do a little follow through, a little swing practice here and there. And
because that adds up,
it.
Riley. It adds up.
Yeah.
If you can do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, boom, you've got a whole practice session done in a couple days.
Exactly. There's a reason I went 4 for 5 in my beer league softball game.
Because you're in the living room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Riley is also not only 4 for 5, our little flex there on the stats too for those of you keeping track at home. Apparently Riley is also an insane, like, I don't even know what position you would consider yourself in flag football, but he was telling me a little bit about this. He was basically the Taysom Hill of Madison area recreational flag football. Am I wrong?
I mean, I'm a quarterback in flag football, and I also will run some free safety, some cornerback as well.
Wow.
The stat line for my game this past Monday,
Wait, hold on.
not bad.
Well, how do you know the stat line from your flag football? Is that
It's just
is this you in your head?
like I just know.
Okay. No, that's fine. What was
just
it?
internalize
I want to
it.
hear it. What was it? Do you
Let's
remember?
see. We scored 50 points.
Okay,
so
that's a good start.
I believe I threw 7 touchdown passes. And had one interception that I made the interception. Didn't throw an interception. And probably, like, for being conservative, probably like 300, 400 yards.
Hey.
So not terrible.
You see?
MVP.
This guy was
humble brag.
Humble brag out here. We got to give him some humble pie out here too. That's our man, Mr. Riley.
I would be so bad at flag football. I'm old and slow, and it would not. No.
And that is why we both have picked up golf.
But I guess going back to the dadisms thing, then, like, do you play sports with your kids?
Oh, yeah. Like, my daughter is starting to get into volleyball right now. So, actually, down the last 2 weeks of school, she wanted to practice every day after school. So, that, I guess. I'm trying to get her into golf. It's trying to be delicate about that, but we'll see where that goes. But, yeah, I guess, like, peppering in the backyard or the front yard, actually. So things like that, I don't know.
Peppering out there, peppering on the grill too. Riley, actually, I'll throw you on the spot. Can we get the countdown music for power rankings? I know we threw out some of them, but John, let's do this. So the list of top 10, I'm going to say yes, or you'll give me like yes or no if you feel like you apply to these. The top 10 things every dad typically does. 1, Tells the same corny jokes. I think you gave us the answer here.
I would say yes, because I don't really have a lot. So if I do have one, it's probably going to get repeated.
All right, number 2, falls asleep during movies but denies it. Also gave us the answer.
I don't fall asleep. No, I'm not during a movie. I'm there to watch.
He is not a sleeper. He is a watcher. 3rd, grills like it's the Super Bowl. Is that correct, or is it more of a different event?
I mean, if you're not taking the approach to winning a championship every day, you don't have the right mindset. So yes.
Number 4, giving long, unsolicited lectures. How you feeling about that? Do you have a story to tell?
No, but I would say mainly yes. Like
Okay.
if I do have some thoughts, nobody's asking for them.
Okay. Long, unsolicited for sure in this one. Number 5, we're reaching the halfway mark. Refuses to ask for directions or read instructions. Are you a little stubborn when you hit the road?
No. In fact, I have never understood that. Like if you don't know where you're going, the easiest way is to ask someone who knows where they're going, and then you learn. I've never understood the thing with not asking directions. Am I wrong on
You got to
this?
ask for help.
You just, want to figure it out, I guess.
I don't know. I just rather. Do you know how to do it? Yeah. Well, how do I do it? Where do I go? Over there? Thanks.
Hey,
I know.
You gotta make sure that you are not lost. I respect
That's
that.
humility right there.
That is. Number 6, making weird dad sounds sitting or standing. See,
I don't know what that means, but
like a just a sigh or something. Or my dad, I will say, it doesn't matter who's playing in the game, whether it's our Chicago teams or if it's just somebody that he just randomly sits down and watch, still screaming at the TV. Don't get it. Don't get it.
I would say probably yes. If there's,
I'm not saying you're a screamer at the TV, but even if you just like stretch your back and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll say yes then.
Nope.
The dad
There's
groans.
a lot of stretching as a dad, at least for me. Like there's always something kind of like needs to be stretched out. Like the right hip needs to be popped, or the left ankle needs to be cracked, or the right knee needs. I'm doing this all right now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, can let's
Yeah. Here, I can do the. Oh, that wasn't even good. That wasn't even a good one.
I love that.
Wait till hour 2.
Great for our radio-only audience.
Yes, thank you for the radio-only audience. Also, if you're watching on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, John is rocking a sweet mustache. I got to get to that level. Number 7, though, guarding the thermostat like it's a treasure. Are you the doesn't go above 72, doesn't go below 72, or whatever that threshold is?
I think it's at a reasonable level. I'm not as crazy thermostat as I think some dads get.
What is reasonable, though?
Well,
that's the real question
If
here.
it like in the summertime, are you rocking under 70? That's unreasonable. Just sit down, chill, let your body cool down. You're gonna be fine. In the wintertime, I like it a little bit more warm. But here's a fun fact. This is a little dad advice. I just found out. The ceiling fan. You have to change directions in different seasons. Did you know this?
The oscillation, yes.
Yeah, so in the summertime, you can save up to, I think, 30% in energy just by turning it the right way. And in the wintertime, low setting the other way. I don't know which way is counterclockwise. You'd have to look it up. Mm-hmm. And it brings down the hot air. We've got a large living room. It brings it down, evens it out. I got to do more of that.
I'm just really happy that I got to use the word oscillation.
Yes.
That's fun. Number 8, turning off every light in the house like it is your job.
I do that, yeah. I'll go around the house and turn off unnecessary lights.
All right.
Sometimes I forget about them, though.
Number 9, I think everyone in our office, too, that's a homeowner might even be obsessed with this, obsessing over the lawn. Where are you at in terms of your mowing? Do you have a big lawn? I kind of feel, I can feel from the side, if you're not watching on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, there's a huge pause, and I can feel that.
There's
that
a look,
energy.
a look
There's
on
a
John's
look
face
right now that he is giving. John, where you at with the? Are you a groundskeeper?
No,
Do you
I'm
make
not.
this pristine like it's the greens at Augusta?
I'm torn on this because I want a better looking lawn, but I also don't want to dump like chemicals and stuff around my house. And so I have to get to a point where it's just like, it looks freshly mown. It looks fine. I am not as...
So you're not like my dad. You go to Home Depot, you see some of the flowers. It's like, it's gardening season. It's time. We got to plant the flowers.
No, my wife is more into that, but I'll help. But as far as the lawn, no, our lawn needs some help.
Fair enough. Well, Mr. Award winner, too, the man who has told a lot of stories about Wisconsin Badgers volleyball, who paints the picture perfectly for the audio audience year after year. The final one, do you have a go-to story for every situation?
No, not at all. Should I do that?
I think you could. I mean, I
So what
feel
Dad's
like
supposed to do?
I feel like
lot
based
of
off of
pressure.
your experiences, you could have a go-to story for everything. And that's not a knock. That's always a great thing. It's like Dad would always be like, I remember when, it was like this, or if it was like that, or like my dad, I would always love it when he would tell me about Jordan stories. I was born just before the second three-peat for the Bulls, but I don't really consider that as a championship I was around to see. I was alive, but I don't know what the heck happened when I was like 4 years old. I don't remember that.
I don't either.
So, yeah, it is what it is. But interesting
No, but I
stuff.
will share random stories with my daughter about sports if it happens to come up, either like I see something on my phone or something happened on TV. So I will sometimes share the history of this or that with her. Yeah.
A little of this, a little bit of that.
I think that counts.
I think
Okay,
that's
well,
good
If
stuff.
you see
All
something
right.
cool and then you start spinning a yarn to your daughters, I think that's a dad move.
Okay.
right there.
And then yes. And let's talk about the mid-90s Bulls today. Yeah.
That is pretty much all we're going to talk about today at ESPN Wisconsin and here on the Saturday Scramble. Jon Arias running through the top 10 things every dad does. Looks like he's kind of defying the odds. So hey, you are a true gem. You're a one of one
Thanks.
kind of dad.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we are happy to have you here on the Saturday Scramble. Once again, Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias here. This is the Saturday Scramble. Coming up after this, too, speaking of expectations are kind of being a little different right now, Jordan Love, where is he going to stand in terms of taking that next leap from good to great? That is coming up next. This is the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. GRB Academy wants to be part of your plan to reach your potential. Utilize GRB Academy's 52,000 square foot facility, 14 batting cages, and 6,000 square foot weight room. Personal lessons at the GRB Baseball Academy are available year-round. With over 300 college players and over 150 Division I players, GRB has consistently led the way in the Midwest for college recruitment and player development. Visit their website, grbacademy.com, for more information. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. Cheers! With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Here's to experiencing it all this summer in Wisconsin. Every deliciously cheesy, rockin', magical, fireworks-filled, festival-loving moment. There's Cheese Curd Fest in Ellsworth, Strawberry Fest in Cedarburg, Festival of the Arts in Stevens Point, and the Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Honor the Earth Powwow in Hayward, Mile of Music in Appleton, Venetian Fest, Brat Fest, Summerfest. So many fests for your whole crew. Find them all at TravelWisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Fans, here's the Quick Trip to the Ballpark ticket offer. Spend $200 at participating Quick Trip locations and get a free Terrace Reserve ticket to a 2025 Milwaukee Brewers home game. Check brewers.com/quicktrip for more details.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
You ever go on a first date and it goes super, super well? You're head over heels. You think this is the one. You think that after all of that, you caught lightning in a bottle, and you invest like everything. You invest everything. You go all in, and it ends up kind of falling flat, or it's not meeting the exact expectations. That is where I feel like the Packers are right now with Jordan Love. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias here. This is the Saturday Scramble. And, John, the reason why I say that is because, look, we know how it was for the first season for Jordan Love. He exploded. It took a second, don't get me wrong. It took a second for him in that first year as the starter to really explode. But that second half, all the way into that playoff run, that was electric. And then the Packers end up paying him the money that I felt like wholeheartedly he deserved going into that offseason. And, yes, it's only 1 year since, but that second-year drop-off as the starter, barring some injuries, and I've defended him on that one too. I've said the injuries have been tough, but you're kind of going into a pretty interesting year for Jordan Love in year 3. Where do you stand? I know this is a great conversation for a Bears and a Vikings fan to have, but it is what it is.
What?
Relax, Riley.
Being a fan of the purple, I think the perspective that I try to give to fans of the Green Bay Packers is that finding an elite quarterback is almost nearly impossible. Finding a great quarterback is super, super difficult. Finding an average quarterback is like hard. So like, I think Packers fans need to realize that they've had 2 elites, and now you're not exactly sure what Jordan Love is going to be, but just know that even if he's not to the elite Hall of Fame status that Favre and Rodgers got to, if you have a great quarterback, if he can be great, that's still better than most of the league. You know what I mean? Like, you're a Bears fan, right?
Yes.
You know all about bad quarterbacks.
Yes, if anything, I know how to evaluate bad quarterbacks.
And you know
what
how
it takes.
difficult it is to find. If you had a Jordan Love type of statistical quarterback, you would be thrilled.
I'd be over the moon.
You would be thrilled.
It's really funny when it came down to the offseason when the Packers, it was that back and forth, and Jordan Love was going through the contract negotiations of getting the payday that he was hoping to get. I was very much on board, in contrast to a lot of my friends who are Packers fans. They did not want to pay him. They were very scared, and I get it. There's a risk that you run, and Jason Wilde even talked about this earlier this week on Wilde and Tausch about the expectations of going from good to great, the comparisons and all that. Here's what he had to say.
I think it's a pivotal year if he's going to be great. It's not a pivotal year for whether he's going to still be employed by the Packers or if they could still win with him. But I do think that there are folks, and look, maybe they're right. I have no problem saying maybe they're right. But for the crowd that believes he is going to be an MVP, a Super Bowl champion, a multi-Pro Bowl, multi-All-Pro, that he's basically going to be Favre, Rodgers, Love, great player, great player, great player. Hall of Famer, I mean, that seems unfair to try and project that. But if you're in the crowd that believes he is going to be on par with those other two, then this is a pivotal year for him to show that he is capable of doing that for a longer period of time, more consistently, that he's able to elevate his team, right? There's a difference between we can win with him and we win because of him.
Pivotal year, yes or no? What do you think, John?
From that perspective, we can win because of him. Like that's the important distinction. Does he make a leap where he is the reason the Packers are successful? Or is he, like we were saying, you get a great quarterback, everybody will take a great quarterback? Or is he just a great quarterback that does what he needs to do? Now, I've heard a lot about this year 3 jump, right? Like he needs to make this year 3 jump. So I brought up Rodgers' 3rd season, Favre's 3rd season, and then compared to like even last year, which was a down season for Jordan Love. 3rd year as a starter for Aaron Rodgers, 3,900 yards, 261 per game, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks, 101.2 rating. Okay. Favre's 3rd season, different era, 94, 62%, 3,800 yards, 240 a game, 33 touchdowns, 14 picks, 90.7 rating. Love last year, 63% completion percentage, 3,300 yards, 225 a game, a little low, 25 TDs, 11 picks, and 97, essentially a passer rating. Like, if we're looking just purely at statistics, it's not as if Love in year 3 needs to go 40-10, because those guys in year 3 weren't doing that. And I know it's a different era with Brett Favre. So, like, what's that jump? Is the jump more so the eye test that this is the guy and the stats are, similar or maybe a little better? Or is the jump like this otherworldly jump? Because I don't think statistically he's almost right. I mean, he's right there. He's right there with the statistics of touchdowns to picks to completion percentage to quarterback rating. He's better than Favre was in his 3rd. Like, he's there statistically to me. So what is that? Is that just the eye test? Is it just a feeling like, oh, he's one of the, they won because of him? Like, how do you define that?
As the resident Packers fan in this conversation, I think it really is the eye test. And it's what Jason said at the end, winning because of him. Because if you go back 2 years ago, 2023, the Packers were winning because Jordan Love was making these fantastic throws. He was throwing receivers open and making game-winning plays. And last year, while we saw a little bit of that against some lower-tier competition, we never saw it against the Eagles, against the Vikings, against the Lions. And I think this year, that is the most important step. He needs to be the biggest in the biggest moments.
Do you feel like it's a step backwards, though? Because, again, I do feel like it's a good versus great. But look, the reason why I ask that is because if the expectation now is that he needs to beat the NFC North opponents first, because everybody's talking about NFC Championship, everybody's talking about Super Bowl, and I get that. I think the Packers, with Jordan Love, when he is just lost in the sauce in the best way, the Packers could beat anybody. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, if you go 1-5 against the NFC North, there's a problem there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The question is, how long of a leash do we have for Jordan Love? Is it Packers fans that are lengthening the leash? Is it Matt LaFleur? Because, again, as Jason even alluded to a little bit, as you can go back and listen to that on the ESPN Wisconsin app from earlier this week, is that it feels like somebody's not saying something. And it's not that we're trying to find who that person is, but to an extent, like I said, you have the great first date. You love it. You had a great time, but it's a lackluster feeling right now. It's kind of like, okay, are we trying to just keep that lightning in the bottle and are we trying to grab that? I think it could be there, but we just haven't seen that yet.
That's why you need a bomb 3rd date after the mediocre 2nd date.
Fair enough.
There it is.
Fair enough.
Well, what's that leash? What's the leash? What do you mean when you say the leash with Jordan Love?
I feel like that I feel like there's going to be, or there have been excuses made for Jordan that, like, hey, it's just like, it's only his 3rd year, but it's also his 5th season too. It's going to be his 6th season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Riley, but he's been in the league for a little bit. Just because he's been the starter for only entering his 3rd season, he's still been around.
I think it's and Jordan, and I'm not saying that Jordan Love has been making excuses for himself. He is far from that guy. But it more so feels like that. It's just like we can't just keep babying him. We can't keep doing that because how is he going to grow? And I'm sure the Rodgers Favre comparisons aren't helping the cause. The Packers have just been known historically as two guys who have been in the NFC North, watching it from the other side. The Packers have been dominant in terms of quarterback production, so I'm wondering where things are going to be at. 844-770-3776. What are your expectations for Jordan Love, taking him from good to great? The good thing is, on the other side, is we'll take a quick breather. Jason Wilde, the Packers insider, could probably throw a little bit some more comments on this one. Also talk a little bit about some more from the training camp over in Green Bay. He is coming up next. This is the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
This fall, build your perfect Wisconsin football game day with a mini pack. Pick any 3 games, including Big Ten matchups like Washington, Iowa, and Ohio State, and save while cheering on the Badgers. Big matchups, big moments, and it's all on your schedule. Football mini packs are available now. Create your custom game day experience today at uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. First touchdown to the 5th quarter. There's always something to enjoy. Football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. 0 sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
It is about what you do before and how you get there, but also how are you going to develop moving forward. Luke Fickell was pretty candid about it, too, in spring football, saying that you got to mature fast. You have to mature fast in order to see the field fast. Hey, you work hard to get to this spot, but that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to play right off the bat.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. He knows it all about the green and gold.
Well, first of all, knows it all is definitely not accurate.
Well, he still knows a lot more than we do.
And I'm fine with that. I don't really like to be the center of attention like Riley does.
It's Jason Wilde on Saturday Scramble.
I need some good news. Send me sipping on cold truth. Nobody knows what I'm going through. With the devil and walking my shoes. Wish someone told me.
The Dad Energy continues here on the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN. Pablo Iglesias, joined by our special guest, Jon Arias here. Thanks for joining the Saturday Scramble piece once again. And John, happy to have you here. And as we said, the Dad Energy continues. We now go out to Green Bay or wherever he's at today. I know I'm sure he's at a tournament or something like that with his daughters. He is the Packers insider. You can also hear him from 9 to noon here on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Mr. Jason Wilde joins us now here on the Saturday Scramble. Jason, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Loving the BDE, Big Dad Energy. I am.
Can't wait to clip that.
I've been listening to Dad Rock too much on Sirius XM. They use that line too.
I love that.
Good. I'm in the laundry room, folding and washing all the laundry that is generated by our active children. So I am. They're out getting pedicures. With Grammy. So they're excited about that, and I'm excited to get some stuff done around the house for Father's Day.
Yeah, so here's the energy that I wanted to talk about in the first part of this hour that we ended up not getting to. But let me ask John and Jason this. I feel like Mother's Day has a different vibe to it. Mother's Day is like about quality time. Maybe you go out to brunch. You get to spend time as a whole family together. Where Father's Day, no offense, but it's like let Dad cook, let him do his thing, like kind of thing. It's Dad's Day, but it's like get away from me. Like I just want to do my thing. That's it. I don't know. Am I right or am I wrong, guys?
I think you're right.
I'll defer to John. Yeah,
I think you're spot on with that. I think a lot, not all dads, but I think a lot of dads are just like, I'm going to go golfing today, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And yes, there'll be some time together, but not like on Mother's Day. I think you're onto something, Pablo. What do you think, Jason?
Well, first of all, think about it. Like your mom, like you were inside her. She carried you for 9 months. Dad, you're some guy who met Mom at a bar. So, I think they deserve a little bit more than we do, first of all. But I will say this, and I have a few friends who are like John just mentioned and are basically, I'm going to go golfing. Get the hell away from you people. And, I understand I am utterly obnoxious. I know I have friends that find me incredibly annoying. Because my life revolves around Madison and Sydney to such a degree that I don't do anything and all that other stuff. But I'm sorry, it's really starting to hit for me because now I've got a sophomore to be and a freshman to be. They're both in high school, and I'm going to blink, and they're going to be in college. And you can just feel it. And John, you know this when your kids are little. You're everything. You're around them all the time, right? I mean, you got to go to work. You got to go call the volleyball matches. You got to go cover the Packers, whatever it is we all do. But then you get home and they're there. They're not off with their friends or they're not at 8 different sports or whatever else. And so for me, it's really started to hit home that the clock is ticking. So I don't have a whole lot of hobbies. I'm hoping my friends, I was texting with some of them from college over the weekend. I'm hoping, since we all have kids in roughly the same age group, once they all leave for college, we can all reconnect to each other and be friends again. But we're all kind of of the same mind that this is, this time is fleeting. So, no, tomorrow I will not be going golfing without them. They actually want me to go golfing with them.
That's awesome.
The problem
that's sweet.
is, as Tausch loves to point out, I stink. I haven't played very much. So we do have a driving range set up in our backyard just with a net. And so while they're getting their pedicures, I should probably go out there and practice because otherwise they're going to embarrass me.
That's awesome. Go practice. That sounds like fun. And I'm more on your side, Jason. Like, I understand some guys want to get away, but I try to put into perspective what you were just saying. I try to remind myself all the time, like, if my daughter asks me to do something and maybe I'm not feeling it or I'm tired and I want to take that nap we talked about earlier, like, I try to remember in the back of my mind, like, hey, I'm not always going to have a chance to go do this. So, like, on Father's Day, I want to be around my daughter and my family. So, I agree.
Yeah, I knew you were that way, but you are 100% right in what you said. I mean, there are dads that are like, yeah, I need a break from you people. And I just, I'm lucky too. Like, and I say this all the time about our girls. They make us look like we know what we're doing as parents, which I'm not sure we actually do. So we're really lucky that way. But and as of now, I can't say that this will always be the case either. But they kind of like having us around still, so that's a nice thing too. And but yeah, I will not be in the backyard smoking a cigar, just enjoying the quiet of not being around my children or anything like that. That's for sure.
He is Jason Wilde, once again the host of Wilde and Tausch, the Wilde portion of Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. We'll get into some Packers talk here too, Jason. You mentioned, I'm sure, as you said, people want you around, and I'm sure what the person that Packers fans always want around is Jordan Love. You said it earlier this week, though, too, about year 3 and his progression. We talked about it a little bit before you came on. Adding on to those comments of he has to make that leap to be great. Add on to some more of those comments. Do you feel concerned with Jordan Love's progression? Where did that comment come from?
No, first of all, this is one of my many frustrations, Pablo. Like, just because I'm not ready to crown him as the next, multi-MVP, suddenly now I think he stinks or whatever else. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but I have felt that pushback. I mean, I made the comment in the clip that was on social media that, there's a difference between winning with someone and winning because of them. And right now you can win with him. You absolutely can. And no one would suggest that he stinks. I mean, unless you're an idiot, then you might. But or you're for some reason just dead set against him. There were Packers fans, Jesse Nelson, who when Brett Favre was replaced by Aaron Rodgers stunk. No matter what he did, those fans thought he stunk, and obviously they were wrong about him. And I am in no way saying that Jordan Love stinks. That would be an asinine thing to say. But what I do think is, and this is my point in the question I asked to LaFleur, he is one of a host of players. And, we were talking yesterday with someone inside the building about, they are still a young team, but they are not an inexperienced team anymore. And so I think it's fair to hold all these guys, Jordan Love chief among them, because that's the reality of being the quarterback, right? The good news is you get paid $55 million a year. The bad news is you get a little more responsibility than you probably deserve in terms of expectations. And so I think he is one of a host of players that have to rise to the occasion here in order for them to be the team they believe they are capable of being, which is, as Brian Gutekunst said, I didn't come up with it, Brian Gutekunst said it's time we started competing for championships. Well, if that's going to occur, then Jordan Love and Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs and Dontavion Wicks and Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt and Edgerrin Cooper and Evan Williams and the 3 offensive linemen that are all in the final year of their contracts, all those guys have to, and Rashawn Gary, who's been paid $96 million to be an elite pass rusher, and you can say he's good, you can say he's pretty good, however you view him, he has not been an elite pass rusher for this team. So all those guys are in a year that if they want to be a Super Bowl team, which I think they are capable of, then all of those guys have to elevate their games. But certainly Jordan Love, who we saw be so fantastic down the stretch in 2023, and I heard Wayne Larrabee talking yesterday on our show while I was out with the girls at their big first golf tournament, saying, he was more impressed by what he saw from Love in this offseason program than what he saw down the stretch in 2023. I'm sorry. They were mostly going half speed or three-quarters speed. He did look a little more accurate to me. But again, I don't know if I can judge that based on what I watched this spring, which is why I wasn't making any grand pronouncements about anybody based on what we saw at minicamp and OTAs. I look forward to July 23rd. I would like to take a little bit of time off first, but I am looking forward to that because then we really start to see what these guys are going to do and what they're going to be in 2025.
Talking with Jason Wilde. So one way to evaluate players is stats, right? And if you look at Jordan Love's second-year stats, and we talk about the third-year breakout for quarterbacks, you kind of look at what Favre and Rodgers did in their third years, and he's within the same ballpark, I think, just statistically, even in year two. Mm-hmm. So one way is to evaluate stats. So he could have a better year 3, but it sounds to me like you're saying it's more so of an eye test. Like his stats can be in the same ballpark or even better, but it's more of the eye test of how he accomplishes those things. Am I reading that more correctly? Like to say that he's progressed and reached these expectations in year 3, it's more of like the eye test more so than what he does on the stat sheet.
Well, and one of the things that kind of happened in recent weeks was, and I know Dan Orlovsky got involved in the conversation too, this idea of regression. And that became a big buzzword, and everybody was, did he regress? Did he not regress? And, Dan decided to tell all of us that if we were suggesting that he regressed or took a step back, then we don't know anything about football. I would just say this. You watched how he played down the stretch in 2023. You watched his decision-making improve that season. In his last 5 quarters of playoff football, because he was freaking awesome in Dallas, and for 3 quarters against San Francisco, he was similarly awesome. But in his last 5 quarters of playoff football, he's thrown 5 interceptions. You can't win with that, right? You cannot advance in the playoffs if you throw that many interceptions in postseason games. Now, does that mean he's going to get into his next playoff game and throw 3 more picks? No, of course not. Were there other factors in some of those picks, right? Did Malik Heath run his routes too deep and that factored into that interception? Absolutely. So, again, this is the life of the quarterback with more criticism than he deserves and more credit than he deserves. But the fact of the matter is, I don't care if you use QBR or whatever you want, they need him to be better this year. And to me, I don't really give a blank about whether you view last season as a step back or not a big enough step forward. However you want to view it, can we all agree that if they're going to be a Super Bowl team, he's got to be better than what he was? Because I think that's all that matters. And so, we'll see what he does. I do think the health was a factor last year. Certainly guys dropped a lot of balls. Those are all part of it. But they do have some pieces now, if you look at where their defense is and the potential of it taking a bigger step forward than even it did last year, now that they're in year 2 of the system. If you look at, adding Matthew Golden, who doesn't have to be a 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie to have an impact, like even if he's like Devontae Adams was as a rookie, where he basically had 3 really good games. One of them was in the playoff game against Dallas in 2014. And then if you look at Josh Jacobs, and he can stay healthy with all the bruising hits he takes to be as productive as he was last year, again this year, they've got a really good formula. And Jordan Love, as Tausch likes to say, doesn't have to be Superman. In some of those games, he can just be Clark Kent. But in at least a few of them, he's going to have to be Superman. We don't know, is Josh Jacobs going to roll an ankle in a game and, be sidelined for 2 weeks? And is Jordan Love going to be able to elevate his game during that time so they keep winning even though they don't have their workhorse running back? These are all things we don't know what the future holds this season. But there's going to be games where he doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting, and then there's going to be games where he has to go out and win the game for them. I think he's capable of that, but he needs to show it.
Talking with Jason Wilde here on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias on 100.5 ESPN. Jason, you mentioned some of the weapons that he has. It's been interesting to see how camp has gone earlier this week with Mecole Hardman catching, I believe it was that 70-yard bomb. Either way, it was poetry in motion, that Jordan Love, Mecole Hardman connection. But also Bo Melton switching onto the other side too, getting a little bit of the wide receiver reps, more of the cornerback. I want to start there while we still have you. Just that feel for him, why they may have tried out that position switch. Does it feel like that it's going to move towards that direction? Tell us a little bit about that switch up.
Yeah, Bo would like me to emphasize to you very clearly that he is not switching positions. He is adding a position, because he was very adamant about that in our conversation. He is still a wide receiver who is getting work at corner. So he did not want us to misconstrue that, because there were a couple of people, frankly, some reporters who initially, because I don't tweet during practice. I'm kind of done with Twitter overall. But, there were a couple tweets of, Bo Melton switching positions. Well, yeah, he was working with the corners at the time. And then a few minutes later, they had an 11-on-11 period, and Bo Melton started with the number one offense on the first snap. Then he went over to the defense and worked with the number one defense on that same series. So, and I've never seen that. In 30 years of covering this team, I've never seen a player in the same drill play both offense and defense. And this is a team that had Charles Woodson on it for a while, right? Who did it in college. So, look, I don't know if he's going to be their version of Travis Hunter. Bo also was very, very adamant. He won the Heisman Trophy. I'm not putting myself in his category, but he is a guy that has great speed. His brother is a corner in the league. He played corner in high school and at the start of his college career until his coaches said, you catch the ball too well, we're going to put you at wide receiver. So it's literally the old adage of the more you can do. And he is in a tight battle in a room full of talent. I mean, you guys just mentioned Mecole Hardman. Let's go through who's at the top of that depth chart right now, and let's include Christian Watson in the list. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks, Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, Malik Heath, Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, and Mecole Hardman. That, I'm counting on my fingers in the laundry room here.
9.
That's 9 guys.
9 guys.
9 guys that I would say are all deserving of a roster spot on an NFL team. Not necessarily the Packers. They ain't carrying 9 guys at that position. But my point is that, and look, some of this might get solved in other ways, right? Like if they feel really good about that group and some of the lesser-known guys, maybe they do move a Romeo Doubs in a trade, right? I can't say that that's an impossibility. Or maybe there are injuries, unfortunately, that factor in to their decisions. But the point is that while the coaches, and certainly Matt LaFleur, who said, and I quote, I love everything about the guy when talking about Bo Melton, I think he will still be on this team even if he hadn't taken on the corner responsibilities, because he's one of their few core special teams guys they still have left on the roster. But again, he's in a battle. He's not just going to be handed a roster spot. So when the coaches ask you to do something like that, you do it. And he did exactly what they asked.
Jason, before we let you go, we ran in the first part of this hour a top 10 list of the most dadisms, which is dad joke, a dad mannerism, all of those things. So let me ask you this two-parter before we let you go. Pick a number between 1 through 10.
6.
Number 6. Do you believe that this applies to you? You make weird dad sounds sitting or standing.
Oh
yeah.
And I'm sure you're stretching too.
I just stood up in my creaky knees. No, but there are like again, I do recommend, if you are listening to the show and you're of kind of my age group, the dad rock music on the Sirius XM channel is funny to hear when you're old like me, old Van Halen and Def Leppard and stuff like that.
Ooh.
But what I really have gotten a kick out of are the dad jokes that they have in there. Like when your buddy walks into Chili's and you say, well, boy, they'll let anybody in here.
Yep.
You should be listening to Dad Rock. Or the other one that I like is when the bill comes at dinner and you say, well, what's the damage?
Yes.
Dad Rock. The last one before I go, when you take the stud finder when you're working and you point it at yourself and go, well, that's working.
Guilty.
Dad Rock. So, yeah, those are all lines that either our dads used on us or we're using now.
I will say those are lines that Riley Yauk, our producer over here behind the glass, and I use whenever we run into each other. Like, oh, here comes trouble.
Typically in the bathroom, too, because we run into each other in the bathroom.
Thank you for pulling back the curtain on that one, too, Riley.
Full disclosure, just being honest.
Information that I needed. Thank you. Yeah.
Honesty is a core value.
That is full transparency for our capital J journalist, Mr. Jason Wilde, host of Wilde and Tausch. You can hear him weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Jason, thanks for your time. Happy Father's Day, too.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Once again, Jason Wilde joining us. A lot of interesting stuff, too. 9 receivers?
That's
too
many
in that room? That is way too many.
But it's good to have options.
That it is. I wonder how many are going to make the roster. Obviously, we don't expect all 9 to.
No.
But
well, what's interesting too is Travis Hunter. Is this a Travis Hunter thing where it's like, hey, maybe we should have a guy that can do a little bit of everything? And will we see more of that with the super talented corners or wide receivers in the future?
We're seeing it in baseball with Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, vastly different sports.
Sure, but
hey,
it's the same concept.
Who knows? All right.
By the way, real quick, Riley, next time you're out, or you, Pablo, I think you guys should sneak a stud finder into the bar. And I think you should try that just to see if it works, and let me know. Report back.
See, Riley Yauk and I are single dudes. We'll go out. We'll go out to the bars here in Madison and try that out. We'll try that out.
You
that has to work
up
right?
against a wall. You'll have it, and somebody may ask, "What are you doing?" And then that's when you're like, "Oh, it's a stud." And then you do that, and then you see if it works.
Me?
It works.
Clearly. This thing's operational.
We got 3 studs over here. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Riley Yauk behind the glass, and Jon Arias. Once again, the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can save even more with 15% off their IKEA purchase when they sign up for IKEA Family for free. Visit IKEA Oak Creek, IKEA Schaumburg, or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop
that's
stab,
his favorite.
and the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
This schedule gives you the opportunity to put your flag back up top that mountain and say, hey, that little Honolulu blue was cute. Kings of the North? No more.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Morgan Wallen Live. I'm the Problem Tour 2025. Historic 2 consecutive shows at Camp Randall Stadium, Saturday, June 28th, and second show added June 29th with Miranda Lambert and Ella Langley. On sale now at uwbadgers.com.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses.
Morgan Wallen, Live 2025.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
This is how you remind me of what I really am. It's not like you say so.
You don't know my disdain for Nickelback, do you, Riley?
No idea.
You know what's really crazy, though? I was watching the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire series, and I will say Hero by Chad Kroeger. Riley Yauk in the Everlight Solar Studio behind the glass is doing air karaoke, if you will. Sing it right now. Do it.
No. I would have, but I didn't know that lyric, I'll be honest. I'm a fake Nickelback fan.
Fair enough. I didn't know there were real Nickelback fans,
Can I say
to be
something?
totally honest.
I think Nickelback, I'm not saying I'm a big fan and I've got posters. I never bought a CD or downloaded or whatever.
I do standing in the line because I never get in.
It's like I think
they get a bad rap
version of Pearl Jam.
Okay, I still think they get a bad rap. Rep.
I think they get
bad rap. Yeah.
Bad rep.
Bad rap.
Bad rap. Or
I thought it was rep, like reputation.
Is it calm or is it?
I
Pam?
think it is. No, yeah, I think you're right.
Are you
Bad
saying
rap.
Pam
Yeah,
or
reputation.
Pan?
What?
Pan. You guys haven't seen Step Brothers? That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
It's the whole Pan situation. Go home and watch that, too. Anyway.
I think we might have to do Nickelback the rest of the show.
Yes. I mean, there's something. Pablo, can you not hear that and not like feel that there's something decent there?
I feel this way about Creed. So I think if we played
same category.
Creed,
okay.
Can you take me higher? That was beautiful.
That was awesome.
That sounded really good.
That was majestic, gentlemen. 844-770-3776, the Carbless Talk text line. Are you a fan of Nickelback? But more importantly, we're also asking, too, what your expectations are for Jordan Love on the Carbless Talk text line. It's Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias, Riley Yauk behind the glass on the Saturday Scramble here, just celebrating Dad Rock, too, with Jason Wilde joining us in this hour. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Also here on our ESPN Madison YouTube channel. 9 receivers in that room. What the heck's going to happen? Like we all said, Jason was not, about the Jordan Love comments, too, was that he's not saying that Jordan Love has regressed. I think that was fair that he was able to defend those statements. We'll talk about that, too, on the 11 o'clock hour. We'll have not Jason Misiorowski. We'll have Jacob Misiorowski, the Miz, talking all that, too, though. John, what your thoughts, though, real quick. You do believe, though, that Jordan Love is a guy that you can win with. Like he is the reason. And yes. I get exactly where Jason's coming from on that.
100%. And I totally understand that he needs to be the guy when you need him to. That's what you need your quarterback to do, right? He's the guy with the football. You need him to make the plays when you need to make the plays. And if that's the expectation going into year 3, there's a little subjectivity to that, right? But if he can do that more times than not, then he's going to be moving in the right direction. But it's also, guys, this conversation from a Vikings fan perspective is so difficult to have, to nitpick on 28 TDs and 11 picks or something like that. 30, you can throw around 30 and 10. Like, to nitpick that is really hard for me to have because if you told me I could have that for the next 10 years, 30-10, 30-12, 28-14, like I'd be like, I probably won't take that because it's really hard to find that.
As a guy who has seen just hope that Justin Fields could have been something Mitch Trubisky I kind of knew wasn't. The Vikings quarterbacks that I think of, Tavares Jackson, I mean Brett Favre too, but also just we'll see what J.J. McCarthy does. Sam Darnold blew up too. Mm-hmm. There's a lot for us to dive into, and we'll get into that in the 11 o'clock hour. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias on 100.5 ESPN.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access. With most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit StoughtonHealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Madison School and Community Recreation's For Friends Golf Outing is Wednesday, July 23rd at the Oaks Golf Course. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. New this year is the Laid Back Links Golf Clinic, an instructional golf clinic for beginners who would like to improve their golf game. Taught by the Oaks professional golf staff, this group lesson includes dinner and drinks, plus a chance to win prizes in the raffle and silent auction. Head to birdease.com/MSCR for more information and to register today. That's BIRDEASE.com/MSCR.
This update is sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Play Brewers Baseball Bingo presented by U.S. Cellular for the chance to win prizes all season long. Download the MLB Ballpark app from the App Store or Google Play to get in on the action. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access. With most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit StoughtonHealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
It's time to think outside the pocket on Saturday Scramble.
I think the Bucks signed their souls away or something.
I look at the Bucks as Augustus Gloop.
Probably really smart, actually, because I write such songs.
Yes! Clip that, Riley. Jason said that I'm smart.
I go to the gym to fight people.
That's awesome.
Legacy cemented. The 2021 Badgers will go down in history as the first ever at Wisconsin to win a national championship.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Alongside Jon Arias, here's Pablo Iglesias.
Thank you for that intro, Big Voice Pete. The 11 o'clock hour beginning here on the Saturday Scramble. A little bit behind, but hey, you know what? Better late than never. We are going to continue the pace of play here on the Saturday Scramble or try to catch up as much as possible. Maybe we'll scramble. Jon Arias, as you heard in the intro, too, the voice of Wisconsin Badgers volleyball, joining us here. We are going to get into a lot of stuff, too. Jon, I know that you said right off the bat, you had some thoughts, too, about Jordan Love entering the third season as our resident Vikings fan here, too. What's doing through the mind?
Well, it's just like I was saying last segment, it's really hard for me to... I understand what Packers fans' expectations are in year three, and I totally understand what Jason's saying is it's more of can he be the reason why they win. That all makes sense to me. But at the same time, this conversation is still a little difficult for me to have because Sam Darnold was great last year. I'm not talking specifically about last year, but historically as a Vikings fan, as a Bears fan for you. When I see that level of production in the first 2 years, it feels a little bit like nitpicking to me. Like, yeah, but can he do it? Like, listen, guys, you've got a quarterback that's producing. Be happy. And maybe that's
appreciate what you have in front of you. Yes.
And maybe that's the mindset of a fan base that hasn't had the elite Favre and Rodgers. And I'm just trying to convey, like, it's hard for me to say, like, this guy needs to be, like, I want him to be better, but man, if you told me in the next 8 years, my franchise would have a quarterback throwing 25 to 30-ish interceptions, 35 to 4,000-ish yards, single digit to just into double digit interceptions, I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's roll the dice. Let's see where we can go in the next 7-8 years with that type of production. So it's hard for me to have that conversation when I know he's still productive, even though last year was a down year.
That's the thing for me is, I would love if we were in the Packers fans' shoes. That's just a beautiful thing. 844-770-3776, the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. We want to hear from you about your expectations for Jordan Love in year 3. We also want to open up to calls too. Why not? If you're heading to, the BDE, as Jason said it, the Big Dad energy, you're going to Home Depot, you're getting some grocery shopping done, all those things. You're going to Metcalf's, a great partner of ours, wherever the case is. Come on, give us a call. Let us know what Jordan Love's expectations are. If you got questions, like our Mr. Riley Yauk behind the glass, too. Feel free to jump on in. Riley, you got something, though? It seems like you're stewing something.
I do. So, again, as the resident Packers fan, I will admit, as Packers fans, we're totally spoiled. Like, getting 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back-to-back is unheard of. Like, that's absurd.
Self-awareness is a very important thing.
Well, I'm glad you recognize
that,
because oftentimes it's...
And I'll admit, a lot of Packers fans either don't acknowledge it or will intentionally ignore it just to, like, bug fans like you guys.
That's like 30 years of production. Yeah. So, like, okay.
Which is fantastic. So, and I'm very grateful. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love as well. But for you guys, as a Vikings fan, as a Bears fan, does Jordan Love scare you? Because Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre... teams didn't want to play him. Like, Aaron Rodgers terrorized the NFC North, specifically the Bears.
I do not feel the same fear that Aaron Rodgers brought because I was covering the game of I Still Own You. I remember watching all of that and being confused as all hell. What the heck was happening in that corner? Because the live TVs in the press box were on a pretty significant delay. So we're trying to figure out, like, what's happening. Is there a scuffle, whatever? No, it's just Rodgers, as he said, he doesn't even remember that, blacking out and shouting to the fans, I still own you, which was just a terrible moment as somebody who worked at a local Wisconsin television station covering this game and also being a Chicago Bears fan at your home, in your home arena. But it is what it is. I'm a professional. I do what I do. But I think it was that moment for me that kind of scared me. And watching Jordan Love torch the Bears in his first start week 1, that was huge, but I've actually, as the fan, I felt more confident, in both of these games coming into this season, and heck, even I think they played week 18 that same season when Jordan was the starter that first year. I actually felt pretty confident going into that one. I was like, the Bears have a chance. The Bears might have a shot.
I think, Riley, that's a great question because I think that puts into perspective maybe what Packers fans are hoping Love will be. When you ask, do you fear Jordan Love? I do not fear Jordan Love like I feared, like Pablo was just saying, like Aaron Rodgers. Like, you knew Aaron Rodgers was just going to be able to dominate and do what he wanted to do because that's who he was. So when you look at it, when you frame it like that, it makes more sense in my mind, maybe what a Packers fan is hoping for or thinking about with Jordan Love, because I don't think as an opposing fan you fear him the same way.
Yeah, because when I talk to my friends who are Bears fans, who are Vikings fans, who are Lions fans, during that great stretch of Aaron Rodgers' peak of his powers, no one wanted to play the Packers, and it was just...
It's that ayahuasca power.
Exactly. Everyone resigned themselves to, like, oh, boy, here comes the big bad Aaron Rodgers, the big bad MVP, and while there was still the good-natured trash talk and the hope, Rodgers snuffed it out so quick. So why don't you guys fear Jordan Love the same way? Is it because he hasn't proved it yet? Is it the demeanor? What is it about Jordan Love that doesn't strike that same fear?
It's been the flashes, and it goes back to the comment that Jason made earlier this week on Wilde and Tausch, which you can listen back to on the ESPN Wisconsin app, also on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel from Thursday, is that it's more of consistency. It's more of that he has shown the flashes, he has shown the big play potential, but it's more about, can you do that consistently?
And is he the reason? Right?
Correct.
Like that's what I'm. Yeah, keep going. But is he the reason they're winning?
Yeah, right. It's exactly. Is he the reason? I mean, again, like I always think about last year when he made that dazzling pass to Jaden Reed in the corner in Los Angeles at the whatever their dome is. That's a crazy arena. SoFi Stadium.
Yep.
At SoFi Stadium, and Jaden Reed is in triple coverage, and it's basically Jordan saying, screw this. It's like Jaden somewhere, so I'm gonna throw up a yeet ball essentially, and he was there. But is that to win the game? Like the year before when they rallied to beat the Chargers and they found Romeo Doubs and he led that game-winning drive. That was a moment where it's like, can Jordan Love do this consistently? He did it a little bit more in that first year as the starter, but in year 2, we saw good plays, we saw big flashy plays, but were they in the marquee moments? Not necessarily as much as it was in that first season. That's my feel on this.
By the way, the Carb List talk and text line 844-770-3776. And I also wonder this, guys. Tell me if I'm onto something here. So he has that big, 6-game stretch in his first year as a starter. Like, if that doesn't happen and he's just good, are expectations different? Like, sometimes you'll look at the record of a team and maybe they won their first 6 games in a row, but then they kind of tailed off. And you're like, man, this team's not playing well, as compared to opposite. Like, they have it at the end. You're like, man, this team's awesome. I'm so excited for them. Like, if that run happened last year, would you feel differently? If that run, it almost seems as if it happened too early. You know what I mean? Like, not that you don't want it to happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying expectations change because it happened so early, and now there's like these wild expectations. Like, well, just do that all the time, and doing that all the time is hard.
It's like this, too, with Jaden Daniels, and I don't want to go too far into him. I think Jaden Daniels, and same thing with Jordan Love, both spectacular players, both great quarterbacks, both very dynamic quarterbacks. But is that, and I hate to use this word, too, because I do agree with Jason on that one. It's, you don't want to say regression. Will they take that small step back? Because, hey, we didn't necessarily expect them to go to that level in their first year as a starter, but they did. So now it's just like, are we putting them on too big of a pedestal, too high of a pedestal, should I say? So that is interesting that you say that, because it's like, you know what? I think you do want to see that progression. I think if it happened last season, yes, I think Packers fans would be in a much more significantly confident spot. Whereas, again, is that what Jason was pointing out from his comments on Thursday was that our fans are where are we not making the excuses, but just, hey, like, where are we at here? Where we need to see Jordan take that big step if he wants to truly be in those Rodgers and Favre conversations, because Rodgers did win the MVP, I believe, his third year as a starter.
But if he did it already in his first year, like at the end of the season, that run and how good he and the Packers were, he can do it again. If you're on the golf course and you pipe one down the middle, and then
fair enough,
it's there. It's within you. You can do it again. So there is, I think, that confidence or perspective maybe Packers fans should keep in the back of their mind. Like, it doesn't just happen. Doesn't have to just happen one time. It's there. He knows what to do. It can happen again. And maybe it didn't happen last year to the extent that you wanted it to, but maybe it'll be few and far between, or maybe the flip will switch and it'll be even more consistent with them.
We are starting to see some stuff on the Carbless Talk and text line. James in Beloit, almost said James Beloit, which would have been cool. It's like James Blunt, like the You're Beautiful song. But anyway, you're beautiful. It's true. See, man, we'd be a great trio.
You know what? Yeah, barbershop triplet.
Ooh, man.
I think we could do something with this.
Well, you've already got like the good mustache going on there. Riley and I gotta polish mine. But anyway, James and Beloit putting in here, pretty much meeting the character limit on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776. As a Packer fan, we are overly entitled and have a poor sense of what to expect with QB play beyond Favre and Rodgers. Remembering that objectively Rodgers is a better quarterback than Favre, could probably agree with that. I don't think you can follow up Rodgers with being, quote, better. The issue is with the fans, not the quarterback. So yeah, interesting.
That was one of the most nuanced perspectives I've heard from a Packers fan.
I didn't know Packers fans had it in them. I was there for all the Bears games, and they're playing the Bears still suck.
Here we go.
And
here we go with the
trolling.
NFC North, little brother syndrome. Come on.
But do you feel like that this is little brother syndrome too? Because you got to come back and attack. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Riley Yauk is our resident Packer fan in this trio.
Yeah,
sing your song.
I'm just saying, that you guys right there, you've been great the entire show talking about Packers, but that little moment right there was the first time I've seen your true colors, I think, be shown tonight. That's every team in the NFC North. Start talking about the Packers, and then it's like, oh, that's the smartest take I've ever heard from a Packers fan.
It was very reasonable.
Assuming that everyone's all delusional.
There's a lot of delusion.
Are you delusional,
Sorry,
Riley?
we're good. The Packers are good and have been good for a really long time.
Maybe not delusion. Maybe.
What is your definition of good?
Winning championships.
You have won
NFL championships included.
Oh, boy.
Or world championships, I should say.
Okay, so I should consider myself a champion, too, when I won Little League in, 2013 or something like that. Or I don't even know if it was 2013. That was when I was in high school. But
just take the Super Bowl. Forget the champion. Just take the Super Bowls. It's enough.
You got the Lombardi trophies.
Don't include the ones against when you played, Beloit. You know?
See,
the Beloit Snappers football team.
But you know who's worse, though? Not to just throw this completely off the rails, but super quick. Yankees fans of, the 27 titles, and they've had a whole two. I guess if you count 2000s in the 21st century. But
when do you have to cut that off as a fan?
Yeah.
You can recognize
we're the greatest
history.
franchise ever.
You can recognize history, but at some point, that 1920s, 1919s, 1930s, 1940s, at some point it's fun, it's historic, it's good, it happened, but it has no relevance to what's happening now.
See, that's a good question. I think for the NFL it's pretty easy. You can cut it off at Super Bowl, when they started playing Super Bowls, when the AFL and NFL merged, that's a good spot to start counting them up.
I would start there.
Baseball, though, when do you start counting legitimate baseball?
But when do you stop
titles?
bragging about something that happened 60 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Probably immediately, because it happened 60 years ago.
I'm just saying.
I am pretty annoyed with the 1985 Super Bowl flaunting. It's part of the culture, don't get me wrong, but also it's
so long ago.
Exactly. I'm I wasn't around for that. Super Bowl shuffle's cool, but it's let's not act like we're the greatest franchise in the world out here,
recognize it and celebrate it.
Exactly.
But it's irrelevant now in a way.
This could be another great segment to get into at some other time. Just when is the cutoff for bragging about championships?
Fair
what
enough.
year is that?
With the window?
Yes.
I think
how many years can you brag about your championship before it's that's old news?
I'd say at most maybe 5.
5 years? I'm 20 years.
Well, I guess if you have a run, too, I was around for the Blackhawks run, too, in Chicago for those 3 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
It depends how you do it. If the Packers went through this run, I would get under my skin, don't get me wrong, but also it's you won at the end of the day. I will admit when there's victory, when victory's done, victory is there. So, hey, listen, expectations, championships and all that, Yankees with 27 titles, I mean, it is what it is for them. But the Brewers are looking for their first title, and what could possibly be on the horizon, too, is the young stud, our Neitzel in shining armor, too. Gabe Neitzel was talking a little bit about that, too. He gave us basically the play-by-play from the stands.
Yeah.
So we will have more from that, too, and talk some more Jacob Misiorowski.
And I've got 5 fun facts about his Major League debut, okay?
Ooh, okay. That's a good tease. We got 5 things from this one, too. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Greg Scalzi here for Total Athlete Performance. They're here to provide elite performance training for serious athletes in the Madison area. And there's a new Verona TAP facility open inside of the Verona Athletic Center. Summer speed, agility, and semi-private options are now available at both Verona and Windsor locations and now offering monthly subscription payment options. Plus, you can download the new Total Athlete Performance app for remote training options all year round. Visit tapwisconsin.com. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Catch the feeling of Hawaii at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison with our 100K Luau promotion. The festivities take place on Saturday, June 28th. Starting at 4 p.m., 24 winners will each select a cash prize between $1,000 and $10,000. Then at 7:30, one grand prize winner will take home the big one, $30,000. We're giving away a total of $100,000 at this luau. Aloha. Put on your Hawaiian shirts and head over to
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, it's a podcast and hoops legend. Gilbert Arenas joins Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Every kid deserves a strong start, and that's the belief driving the Ingold Family Foundation. Founded by NFL fullback and Wisconsin native Alec Ingold, the foundation seeks to bring attention and financial support to the children within our nation's child welfare system. Inspired by the lessons learned in sports, their mission is to empower underserved youth through accessible and impactful learning experiences. They focus on financial, mental, and physical health to provide education, inspiration, and access to opportunity, helping young people achieve their dreams. Learn more and donate today at alecingold.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. Cheers! With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
2-2, swing and a miss, and Contreras goes down on strikes. First big league K for Jacob Misiorowski, and he gets Wilson Contreras.
Oh, baby! Riley Yauk has been bringing the heat. If you haven't listened to our new updated version 2 of the Jump Around, which you can hear Jim Rutledge and myself on the ESPN Wisconsin app, also streaming Thursdays. Riley, as I was saying, bringing the heat with intros, with music, bringing it home once again for the new Brewers Fireballer. First off, Riley, take a bow. Oh,
thank you.
Well done.
I can't take much credit for it. That was all luck.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't time it out ahead of time. It just so happened the lyrics and Jeff Levering's call timed out perfectly. So God is good. That was awesome.
Sometimes you just need a little luck to throw in that heat. But man, what a debut for the Brewers right-hander Jacob Misiorowski coming up. And it was just funny, too, like when they were talking to him in the dugout, he actually almost missed the call. Like his coach in AAA was telling him in Nashville, he almost missed that call. It went straight to Do Not Disturb.
No.
It was a spam call. He was telling reporters this. It was hilarious. So he almost missed that call, ended up calling them back, and they're like, you're going to want to answer this call, and it was his call to the show. So, yeah, that was fun. You know, John, your takeaways, too, from this one, too. I know you were really eager to talk about the Miz's debut, and not only what it means for just the Brewers, but also just, man, for baseball to see a guy first 3 pitches go over 100 in your career. That's pretty saucy, man.
If you missed it, I'm sorry you missed it, man, because there was a lot of buzz around his debut, and it was fun to have that type of buzz in June in a game. And I've got kind of 5 wow nuggets, I guess you could say, about his debut from Milwaukee. So number 1, his 5th career pitch, 102.2 miles per hour, 102.2. It's the fastest pitch ever recorded by a Brewers starter since StatCast began in 2008. So think back to...
So is that the top, or is
fastest,
he beaten? It's the fastest
by a Brewer
ever in the StatCast era.
In the StatCast era. And it happened this week.
This is fun.
Number 2, wow stat. He unleashed 14 pitches at 100 miles per hour or harder. The 4th most by any starter in an MLB debut during the pitch tracking era. 14 pitches, 100 miles per hour or more, 4th most by any starter ever since they started tracking that.
Saucy.
Number 3, wow stat about the Miz's debut. Before Thursday, every Brewer starter combined had thrown just 8 100-mile-per-hour pitches. Misiorowski with the 14. So 8 going in, 14 in one start.
This is electric.
The Miz is just otherworldly.
He's so
throwing
fun.
102 with a 6'7" frame is not fair.
And he doesn't weigh all that much either. That man
190 pounds for a 6'7" frame.
Pounds at 6'7".
Stick.
That's 6'7".
Do you guys worry? Like, I know it's his debut. He just got here.
Don't do this now. No,
I'm already worried. Like, are you gonna burn your arm out, man? Like,
well, that is the interesting question, because you saw here, if you're watching on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, yes, the Miz dazzling in his debut, tossing 5 no-hit innings. For those of you listening on the audio side, you want to ride the hot hand, sure. You know, if I'm playing MLB The Show or whatever it is, I want that perfect game. I want that no-hitter with one pitcher. But listen, you also just want to. You don't want it to run its course too soon either. So I don't blame Pat Murphy and co. for taking him out when they did.
I'm just worried about throwing 14 times over 100 throughout the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, how's that going to affect him in the long run? You mentioned the 5 hitless innings. Our number 4 wow fact about Misiorowski's debut. 5 hitless innings before cramps ended the night. He's the 10th pitcher since 1891 to throw at least 5 no-hit frames in his major league debut. Since 1891, there have been 10 pitchers to do that. And Brewers fans, you witnessed it this week.
That is pretty sweet. That's good stuff.
The Miz is the truth. And we had a phrase, I think it was a caller on Wilde and Tausch yesterday, who either brought up that stat or a similar stat. And since you can assume that from 1890, there were no sizable baseball accomplishments in any of the years prior, so they just used the phrase, from the dawn of time, only 10 people have accomplished this. So imagine that. Only 10 people in human history
That's another way to phrase it.
This. Crazy.
I love the phrasing, from the dawn of time. I feel like it's like the old school, like early 2000s, late 90s guy that would do the movie trailers. In a dawn of time.
In a world.
Jacob Misiorowski.
And our number 5 wow fact about the Miz's debut. He started with a 100.5 mile per hour strike, followed by 101.8, that'd be something else, 101.8, and then the 102.2 miles per hour. StatCast has never logged another Brewers pitcher whose first 3 Major League Baseball pitches were all triple-digit fastballs. So no one has ever done that wearing a Brewers uniform, obviously.
A la Lloyd Christmas in Dumb and Dumber. Listen, you got to take a lot more steps to get to the World Series, but all I'm saying is, Jacob Misiorowski, is he giving them a chance? Are you saying there's a chance that he could be one of the greats, that he could be what are you
next
doing? Step?
We're talking about one of the greats. He's throwing 5 innings.
I'm just saying. I don't mind to poke.
Stop that. Don't do that right now.
Here's the other thing, too, and you can listen to all
Are
of
you
it.
saying he's not going to be great then, John?
No.
How dare you?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying Let's see number 2. Let's see a second start.
Positive energy only here on Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
So fun.
The fun thing, too, so I'm looking at the probable pitchers. The Brewers are finishing out this series with the Cardinals, and then after they finish their homestand, it is off to Wrigley Field with a showdown with the Chicago Cubs. Those pitchers have not been announced yet, understandably, but more than likely, now because Aaron Savali is now in Chicago with the Chicago White Sox, it seems like that Pat Murphy is going to ride a 5-man rotation. But, man, guys, the Miz and his potential second start at Wrigley Field, and again, you can listen to that on 100.5 ESPN. You can listen to all the Brewers here on the Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Riley, aren't you? Riley Auk, you're heading to
I'm going
Wrigley?
Tuesday night game. I am praying Misiorowski pitches that day. That would be electric factory.
I have him on Wednesday. I have him on Wednesday.
Oh, boy, you guys are going to have to fight this one out. So you're Tuesday, you're Wednesday.
No, I'm not.
I thought you were going to the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, you mapped it out, and it's looking like Wednesday.
Looking like, here's the next 2 according to projections. I don't know. Wednesday at Wrigley, and then the next start, if they kept everything the same, would be Monday, June 23rd versus Pittsburgh in Milwaukee.
Riley, would you potentially be able to sell your tickets for Tuesday and go to Wednesday instead? Would you do it? Would you do it if you had the shot? It's not like we're going to miss out on Brewers games at all this season. I'm sure you can go there to see the Miz. But
7:05, I might just go to both then.
There you go.
7:05.
But we've had this discussion. This is now an interesting thought. Like, would I sell my ticket on Tuesday to just go see Jacob Misiorowski on Wednesday?
I would.
I forgot who was having this conversation. I think Magic Johnson. Defined a superstar as someone who
you were talking about this with Magic Johnson?
No, I didn't have
that.
Okay.
I thought
Riley was just we should have got him on the show.
Yeah. No, I heard a
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson was talking, I believe, on First Take, defining a superstar as someone who can sell out opposing arenas. Is Jacob Misiorowski going to sell out Wrigley Field right now? No, but
maybe
that's the thing. It seems to me that Jacob Misiorowski, if this continues, has the makings of someone who is must-watch TV and could bring out Brewers fans for sure, but even opposing fans if he continues to be this good.
I think so. I think he could be that guy.
I was this way last season with Shohei Ohtani. I mean, granted, yes, it's a different situation, and he's chasing after the 50-50 season, which I was very fortunate when as soon as we sat down, Shohei Ohtani just blasts the ball into the second deck. And so that was fun to get to see that. So I got to see one of his 50-something home runs that season. But it's that same situation. I don't think the Miz is there yet. Yes, he has only pitched 5 innings, but there's potential. Like I said, you're saying there's a chance.
The only thing with Miz, like I was saying, is I worry about throwing too hard too often. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming at this from the wrong perspective, but I worry about like injuries from throwing that hard. But if that's what makes him successful, I don't want to also change him. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason he's had 5 hitless innings. So I do worry about that with him. And I'm hesitant to start to get too excited. But he is, for as far as the state, if you're a fan of the Brewers, he is must-see TV at this point, even after one start. Like, you got to watch Wednesday, and you got to watch Monday, June 23rd for sure if you're going to watch any Brewers games or listen to them on the radio.
It was a bit of a bummer, too. So our ESPN Madison team did have a Brewers outing the day before, which was still, honestly, even though the Brewers fortunately fell to the Braves, Riley Auk, who was also our champion of the cap, the crazy cap shuffle. I could never say this game correctly.
Nice.
May or may not have had a couple people helping him out too. So there you go.
I was locked in. That was just a safety valve.
Don't you usually get those
entire
though?
Time.
Is it?
Yeah. So I was going to say it was an open book test apparently for Riley, and he utilized his group in this group project. So but hey, congratulations, you did it. You were on the Jumbotron. Also, Mark Tauscher was out there.
Wait, he was on the Jumbotron?
Yeah. Riley, was on the Jumbotron. Riley is a Jumbotron legend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you get video of it?
Yeah, undisputed crazy cap shuffle champ.
And it was
Just
because
throwing that out there.
Why did they choose you?
Wait. So they chose you. Oh, I get it.
Yes.
I get it now.
So,
So actually, yes, they chose him, and here's why he chose him too. Riley?
Here's the story. I'm walking on the concourse at the ESPN Madison team outing at American Family Field. Jesse Nelson tells us, hey, be ready. Tausch is going to be on the Jumbotron sometime between the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning. So walking around the concourse, and I hear bang on the drum start to play, and I'm like, I bet they're showing Tausch right now. So I run out. I'm right behind home plate. Peek my head out, see Tausch on the Jumbotron. I'm like, okay, sick. Got to see Tausch. Start to walk away. Then this guy comes up to me, grabs me, and he's like, hey, my name's Scott. I'm with the Brewers. He has the headset on. Would you like to play the Crazy Cap Shuffle? And I was like, yeah.
Would I?
I definitely would.
Let me see.
And I asked, how do they go about finding people? Like, why'd you pick me? And he was like, our camera guys love obscure jerseys. And I was wearing a game-issued Alex Claudio jersey. Brewers reliever from 2017 to 2020, something along those lines. And they were like, we love your Claudio jersey. So we thought it'd be funny.
Oh, inside tip there for anyone going to the game.
Wear obscure jerseys.
Yes.
They look for you, and they will find you and put you on the Jumbotron.
Oh, that's amazing.
I did give a tip of the cap, no pun intended, to a man wearing a Scott Podsednik jersey. I said, thank you again as a Chicago White Sox fan, too. Thank you for 2005. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Carlos Lee, one of my favorite players as a kid. But Scotty Pods is one of the reasons, too. But, yeah, fun time out there. Riley Yauk, the legend. That was pretty cool to get to see him out there. And
now I get it. Fun. Congratulations. That's pretty clutch.
Thank you.
Even though people were helping you, I guess?
No, so did I ask the people next to me in the front row right by the dugout to help me if I didn't get it?
Yeah.
Yes, or if I lost it.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I asked. But
you didn't lose
I was locked in. I didn't lose it. I'll be honest. I feel like they're making them easier. Even though they have 5 caps.
5 hats.
They have 5 hats, but there aren't any of those really quick flips where you lose it anymore. It just stays in one and kind of bounces around. It's not hard.
You want people to leave like a winner, too. And actually, I have a question for you guys, too. As a fan, let's think about this as a fan. We talked about wanting to see players. You want to talk about, I'm grateful I got to see a perfect game. I'm sure we've all seen different milestones. But as a fan, let me ask you this. What do you think is the better experience? Seeing something historic or seeing a player or being on the Jumbotron? What do you think fans want more? What do you guys want more? Because when you're on the Jumbotron, whether it's for a game or if you just show up, do it. Riley and I also tried to do the robot cam. Okay. We thought we had a shot. We were in the sun.
We were bad.
Well, yeah, the point wasn't that we... If anything, they highlight people who have bad dance moves. But anyway, would you rather be on the Jumbotron or would you rather see something historic if you are attending a sporting event?
That's a really interesting question because they're both memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're always going to remember the time you played the cap shuffle game at a Brewers game. Dang.
Let's put this out on our ESPN Madison Twitter, too. Also, 844-770-3776, the Carbless Talk and Text line. Which would you prefer?
So I think I have some good perspective on this. So I was at Game 3 last year of the Brewers Wild Card Series against the Mets. I got to see Jake Bauers and Sal Frelick go back-to-back. Most electric moment I have ever been a part of at American Family Field. It was so awesome. If the Brewers had won that game, that would far and away be best sports memory of all time, most electric atmosphere. And then I also just had the Crazy Cap Shuffle. I would take the Jake Bauers and Sal Frelick home run any day of the week.
Fair enough.
If I could relive that experience, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. But in a game like we went to where it's a blowout and the Brewers are getting killed, give me the Jumbotron.
I think you make a lot of sense, Riley, because when you mention how electric it got, you don't get that electricity as a fan in a historic or amazing moment very often. So if you can get something historic and the place is buzzing and you're like, I was there, dude. I was there. I saw Braun hit that home run in 08 or whatever it was. I'd probably pick the moment. Yeah.
Fair enough. I've seen some pretty electric moments as well. Both as a fan, been on the Jumbotron, won a contest like Riley as well.
What?
Yeah, it was a dancing contest, and when people are cheering
you won
for
a dancing contest,
it was I don't know what the heck I did.
That's
I'm not
impressive.
I think
that's
a
lot more impressive than mine.
That's really impressive.
I think I semi blacked out. I'm not gonna lie. I was standing on top of the visiting dugout. This was a White Sox game. I think I was 17 at the time. Originally, they picked my dad. And I was like, hey, Dad, you're going to do this, right? And the White Sox Twitter is DMing me back and forth. They still follow me to this day, which is pretty sweet. That's a nice flex. But, yeah, they DM'd me,
and they said, congrats, you ended up winning the contest. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And yeah, I ended up winning free tickets.
Nice.
So it was pretty sweet. So that was a pretty sweet prize. Also made it on the Jumbotron twice because it was one of those rain makeup games. So my dad and I went to a doubleheader, and we were on the Jumbotron at least like 3 times because we were probably like one of 100 people.
I was going to say the odds are probably pretty good.
So yes, the odds were pretty high for that one. So that was electric as well. So we will throw that on our ESPN Madison Twitter. Would you rather be on the Jumbotron or see a historic moment in any sporting event? Once again, that is on the ESPN Madison Twitter feed. But we will also take a break too, because it's Boomer Doom time. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Jim Rutledge here. It's officially camping season, which means I will be using my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. What does that mean? It means it's a customized buying experience. If you're an expert and you know what you want, they're happy to let you take the lead. And if you have a ton of questions, Aaron, Tyler, and the whole team at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb will make sure they can answer them all. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing up our bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open, also brought to you by Carbless, Zimbrick Honda, Siding Unlimited, Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, Clear Vision Pro Wash, and Vortex Optics.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny cause we just won't eat. And we'll hang out in the coolest bars and the VIP with the movie stars. Every good gold digger's gonna
This is the Saturday Scramble, and Jon Arias, as we quizzed him in the opening portion of the 10 o'clock hour to start out our show, he did not believe that he has go-to stories, but I will be saying he has gotten golf tips left and right and has go-tos on how to improve. He was just telling me how to improve my chipping game, which is chipping over the driveway. So I think you do have go-tos. I think it's not unsolicited advice. I am open to it.
Yeah.
I am open to your advice, and I'm making sure that it's the difference between where it's like the unsolicited stories and the go-to stories. You actually have a lot more go-to stories than you realize.
Okay, well, maybe. I always feel weird telling people golf tips because I'm not good.
Oh, I'm not good either.
But there are things that have helped. So anyone listening, this has really helped my chipping. I literally just go outside in my front yard, and I just try to chip over the driveway. And what you'll find is you can't be aggressive because you don't want to skull it and hit the car parked, the neighbor's car or whatever. And you do that 3 times a week, and then you get to the course, and you're like, oh, this is just a little longer than my chip over the driveway, or a little shorter, or just perfect. And then you know exactly what to do because you've done it so often. So here's my advice. Practice chipping.
Practice chipping. Well, Riley Yauk does pass the advice to me. You drive for show and you putt for dough.
Boom.
Speaking of boom, Riley Yauk, what time is it?
Introductions. We've had all the pomp and circumstance. We've had all the fuss and feathers. But it's time for...
Just watching John's face.
Sounds like you actually have heard of the Costco guys and have seen Boomer Doom before.
I have not seen Boomer Doom. I have heard of the Costco guys.
Yes!
Okay, perfect.
All right.
You're the first guest host who has, actually, so this is a big accomplishment. I don't need to fully explain what it is, but for brief, I will give you a quick topic based on the Costco guys Boomer Doom game, a question, and you give it a boom or a doom.
Oh,
it's that simple.
Oh,
and
I can do this.
And we're running out of time, so I got to be quick here. Have you guys heard of the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge that happens at the College World Series every year?
I have not.
So it's a local bar and pizza place in Omaha, right next to the stadium. And every team, their fan bases compete to buy the most Jello shots. It's a big competition. It's like a 50-50 raffle, kind of. Every Jello shot, you get the Jello shot,
Yep.
but then half of that money goes to charity. So it's an awesome charitable event, and then the fan bases get to compete to see who is the drunkest, most charitable fan base. So LSU, typically when they go, wins. Boom or doom, if Wisconsin had a baseball team and made it to the College World Series, they're mopping the floor with the competition.
I'm sending it through the roof. I'm booming this. Wisconsin, Bucky by a billion. As Chris Orr, who is now working with the Kansas City Chiefs this season, former ESPN Madison teammate, always in our hearts too, as Chris would say, Bucky by a billion, whatever it was. I would say boom for that one.
Boom for sure. As you were talking about this, my thought was, oh my gosh, if Wisconsin had baseball, they'd be the #1 contender. So I'm glad you went there. Boom.
Bring it back.
Fantastic. Well, we're really out of time with the show, so...
one more?
All right, fine. I'll give you one more real quick. Sal Frelick currently batting over 500 the past 2 games in the leadoff spot. I also bat in the leadoff spot for my softball team, so just...
Quick flex.
Boom or doom. I get all my skill from my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Boom or doom. Leadoff. If you're playing baseball, softball, leadoff is the best spot to bat.
No, number 2.
Why number 2?
Number 2 is where you put the best hitter. Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm going to go doom. I'll go with the number... Kirby Puckett was my favorite baseball player growing up, and he batted 3rd. So I'll go 3rd.
I don't know.
That's the best spot.
Shohei kind of leads off. Sometimes they put him in the 2 hole, but you put you put your best hitter in 2nd.
I love batting leadoff. Getting the first crack at the pitcher, swinging at the first pitch usually, get the game started off on a right foot. But you guys, lots of dooms. But all right, that's what I got today for Boomer Doom. Thanks for playing.
That is Boomer Doom. He is Riley Yauk. Thank you for that. He is Jon Arias. I am Pablo Iglesias. We might have a little bit more time. Maybe we do. Fingers crossed either way. If we don't, have a good Saturday. ESPN National is coming up next. The Brewers playing later today. But we'll see if we can sneak in a quick, one more quick goodbye. This is Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. Cheers! With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin recently upgraded their document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Adam Wallace, VFW State Adjutant.
Our representative ensured that we had what was right for us, for our needs, and for our budget, and I thought it was a very good interaction.
That's a good thing, to have James Imaging Systems as your local business technology partner?
Absolutely. We want people that are going to support what we want to do in supporting veterans, and if that means spending less on our imaging and technology costs, that's more that we can spend on our programs.
And that's a really good thing. Adam, any advice to other businesses out there?
I would say to go with James Imaging.
Because?
Because they are a partner and they give great customer service and the prices are right.
Great document imaging technology, great service, great value. From James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. I bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God. Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Thank you so much. It's a quick wrap up here on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jon Arias. John, one word to describe your time on the Saturday Scramble. Go!
Amazing!
Amazing it is. The Brewers are going to be on later today here on 100.5 ESPN, the new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 3:10 first pitch. Jose Quintana. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize what the song was. This is it. That is what we're going to do. We are going to sing you off. This is the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN. Take care and have a great rest of your Saturday.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15